Good morning, children. Today in this class, I am going to start a new lesson, that is hydrosphere. Hydrosphere is one of the realm of the earth. Okay, what are the realms of the earth? The realms of the earth that are lithosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and atmosphere. Those are the four realms of the earth. Okay, now let us see about one of the realm, hydrosphere. Okay, the hydrosphere is always representing about the water resources on the land and under the land. What are the water bodies that are located on the surface of the earth, and it is representing the water bodies which are located under the ground. Okay. Finally, hydrosphere is nothing but, and it is showing is about the water resources on the ground and under the ground. Okay, we have learned in the previous classes about if it is the earth is filled up 71% of water. In this 71%, all the belongs to all the oceans, rivers, lakes, and seas. All are, if you count all the percentage of spreading of water on the earth, it is occupying 71% of water on the surface of the earth, and remaining only 29% only the continental part or the territorial part. About 71% belongs to occupied by water bodies, and only 29% is occupied by the land mass. Land mass. Okay, this is about the land mass percentage and water bodies percentage of or occupying of water and land mass on the surface of the earth. Okay, already we have learnt in the previous classes about this, but now we will discuss about the hydrological cycle. That is nothing but the water cycle, how the water cycle is going on the surface of the earth, and how the water is transporting from one place to another place, and how we are getting fresh water, and how about only 1% of water we are using among the 71%. Okay, can this 1% is meet the daily needs of humans? Okay, to know the answers for these questions, we have to enter into our lesson, that is hydrosphere. Okay, now let us start our lesson, hydrosphere. Okay, to know the answers for these questions, we should know about the hydrological cycle on the earth. Hydrological cycle. Hydrological cycle is nothing but a renewable cycle. It is nothing but a renewable resource. Okay. In this hydrological cycle, there are 6 major stages are there. Okay. Generally, this hydrological cycle is called as water cycle. We all have know about water cycle. In the previous classes or in the lower classes, we have learnt about water cycle. Okay. Now in this class, we are going to explain detail about this water hydrological cycle or water cycle. Generally, this hydrological cycle will be represented or expressed in the form of Rf equals to Rho plus ET. Okay. Generally, the hydrological cycle expressed in this equation here, Rf means rainfall, Rho means runoff, and ET means evapotranspiration, evapotransportation. Okay, this is about the terms in the equation, in the hydrological equation. Okay, sometimes the hydrological cycle expressed in the equation, that is Rf equal to Rho plus Et. Okay, here Rf means rainfall. Okay, how we are getting the water from the oceans to land? By the getting of rainfall, we are getting fresh water. Okay, this rainfall is nothing but the combination of runoff and evapotranspiration done on the oceans. Okay, this is the equation of hydrological cycle. Okay, now let us see the stages of hydrological cycle. There are six stages in the hydrological cycle that are, the first one is evaporation. Evaporation. The second one is transportation. The third one is condensation. Fourth one is precipitation. And the fifth one is runoff. And the sixth one is groundwater. Okay, these are the six stages of water cycle. Okay, now let us see about the detailed explanation of each term. Okay, these are the six stages which are involving in the hydrological cycle or water cycle. That are, the first stage is evaporation. Evaporation is nothing but the change of water. The change of water into water vapor. The change of water into water vapor is called as evaporation. Okay, where it had done on the surface of the oceans, the evaporation would be done by the, whenever the sun rays falls on the ocean's water, due to the sun rays and due to the heat of sun rays, the water which are present in the oceans would be evaporated with the sun heat. Okay, due to the sun heat, the water will be changes into water vapor and it will be formed as clouds on the surface of the oceans. This is about the evaporation. Evaporation is nothing but the change of water into water vapor by the sun's heat. Okay, now let us see about the transportation. After forming the clouds on the surface of the, on the oceans, the clouds were transported by winds. Okay, the clouds were transported by the winds which are carrying the clouds from the clouds from the oceans to the lands. The movement of clouds from oceans to the land mass, that is the process called transportation of clouds. Okay, now let us see condensation. Condensation is nothing but the water vapor, the changing of water vapor into water is nothing but condensation. Okay, here after the transportation of clouds, whenever the clouds meet the cool winds, whenever the clouds meet the cool winds in the land mass, okay, they can immediately forms the small tiny droplets. Okay, due to the formation of tiny droplets on the clouds, okay, they can be dribbled or they can be falling the, they can fall due to the heavy, due to getting heavy, the raindrops will be fall from the clouds. Okay, this falling of raindrops or this falling of drops from the clouds, it is nothing but rain. Okay, condensation is nothing but the changing of water vapor to water is called condensation. Okay, now let us see precipitation. Sometimes the condensation may varies. Okay, in some seasons or in winter season we can see this precipitation. The precipitation is in the different forms, that is snow. Okay, precipitation is in the form of snow and hailstones. Hailstones we can see during the rainy season. Hailstones is nothing but ice cubes which were fallen during the raining. Okay, during the rainy season we can see the hailstones, snow and fog. These are the different types of precipitations. Precipitation is nothing but a condensation process, but precipitation is in the different forms, that is the snow, fog and hailstones. Okay, now let us see about runoff. Runoff means after the rainfall. After the rainfall happened on the land, the water may flows from the top of the hilly regions to the lands and finally they goes again into the oceans. Okay, the movement of water after the rains happen on the land, the flow of water or the water flow on the surface of the earth and goes into the again goes into the oceans. Okay, this is called the runoff. The movement of water on the or the flow of water on the surface of the earth in the form of rivers, lakes, and ponds. Okay, this is called runoff. Runoff means the flow of water on the surface of the earth and from the hilly region or from the landmass to the oceans. Okay, the water flows from the landmass to the oceans is called runoff. Okay, now let us see about the groundwater. What is meant by groundwater? Groundwater, whenever the rainfall was happened on the land during the runoff, some of the water content will be percolates into the under layers of the earth. Okay, after the percolation happened, the some of the water will go into the under layers of the earth, and this underground water also, groundwater also flow in the layers of the earth, but the flow is very slow. The speed of underground water is very slow in the underground water. Okay, we can see this underground water in wells, tube wells, or artesian wells or tube wells. We can see the flow of movement of groundwater under the ground. Okay, these are the six all stages which are involving in the hydrological cycle. Okay, here the water starts from the oceans again here till the all the if all these process are all these stages happened, okay, again the water will entering into the oceans. Okay, after all the stages again the water entering into the oceans. That is why it is called the water cycle or hydrological cycle. Okay, these are about the six stages which are involving in the hydrological cycle or water cycle. Okay, now let us see about the composition of water, fresh water and saline water on the surface of the earth. Composition of salt water or saline water. And fresh water. Okay. Now let us see the percentages of the composition of salt water and fresh water on the surface of the earth. Okay. The salt water or saline water are in the form of oceans. Oceans. It is about 97.216 percentage. Suppose the 79% of the water will be treated as 100%. Okay, among the 100% of water, the oceans occupying 97.216 percentage of salt water. Okay, now let us see about the fresh water. Fresh water is in the form of ice caps and glaciers. Ice caps and glaciers. It is about only 2.15 percentage. And suppose if you see the groundwater is about only 0.6%, and inland seas. Here, inland seas Inlands is, it is about 0.089%. It is also belongs to its rainwater, and the lakes occupying only 0. Lakes occupying 0.008% of water on the surface of the earth, and soil moisture, it is about 0.005%, and the atmosphere, it is about 0.001%. Okay, the rivers and biosphere. Rivers and biosphere is containing 0.002 percentage of water. Okay, this is the composition of the salt water and fresh water on the surface of the earth. Okay, on the surface of the earth, majorly the oceans are occupying, it is about almost 98.97% of water on the surface of the earth. Okay, and inlands is, it is having 0.0089%, and fresh waters. Okay, the composition of fresh water on the surface of the earth, ice caps and glaciers. Ice caps and glaciers is nothing but the amount of water which is in the permanent slope, which is in the permanent snow in the continents like Antarctica and Arctic. In the Antarctica region and Arctic region, the fresh water is in the form of snow. It is in the form of permanent snow. Okay, it is about 2.15 percentage, and the groundwater is nothing but we can see in the tube wells, artificial wells. We can see the groundwater. Okay, this is about 0.6 percentage, and lakes. We can see the lakes are ponds. Okay, in the form of lakes and ponds, it is only about 0.008%. In the soil moisture, okay, during the rainy season, after falling of rain, the some of the water will absorb by the soil, and that is the called soil moisture. Okay, in the form of soil moisture, the percentage of water is 0.005 percentage. Okay, in the atmosphere is nothing but the water vapor which is present in the atmosphere. Okay, atmosphere is nothing but the clouds. In the clouds, the water is present only 0.001%. It is very minute, and in the rivers and biosphere, it is also 0.001%. Okay, this is the freshwater composition and salt water composition on the surface of the earth. Okay, in the next class we will see about oceans and the relief features of oceans. Okay, thank you children.